Hi, everyone. I hope that you're doing well and thank you for joining me tonight. I know at the end of the year in 2025, after I was done doing the 30 days of mental health and the holidays, I had made a commitment that I was going to go live every Sunday at 8 p.m. And so here I am to start off the new year. I know we're a couple weeks in, but that's okay. Um, I just want to be committed to being here. I look forward to being here. And we're going to discuss mental health throughout the entire year. So each month will have a different theme and it will focus on mental health. And so for the month of January, we're going to be focusing on New Year, New You. And so I'm excited to get started. So, the most important thing that we can do right now is to prioritize our mental health as we start to set new goals for the year ahead. So, this month, I'll be guiding you through some steps and practices to ensure that you not only set meaningful goals, but also cultivate a healthy mindset to be able to sustain the goals that you are making. So I know it can be overwhelming to think about everything that lies ahead. Sometimes when the new year starts, we feel really excited, like, ooh, new year, new me. I'm going to create all these goals. I'm going to do all the things, and we feel really inspired. But the truth of the matter is, once we come into a new year, it's just another day. And so eventually, sometimes we can fall short of those goals. Some of those goals can feel overwhelming to us, and then we can just feel like, I can't do it. But God never intended for us to carry things alone. And so God is with us. He's for us. He places people in our life that can walk through this journey with us and be intentional. We can be accountable to one another and just be strengthened by God's word. And so 1 Peter 5:7 tells us to cast our cares on him, to cast our cares on God, because he cares for us. And Philippians 4:6 tells us to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let our requests be made known unto God. And so I just want to take some time to focus on the fact that God does not want us to be anxious this year. He does not want us to be in a hurry, and he does not want us to worry, because those things that he has for us, they are good. His plans for us are good, and they're going to come to pass. And so I don't want people to feel rushed, overwhelmed, or anything. Like, you have time. And so consistently working on your goals every day is huge. And so as long as you continue to do that in the next couple of months, or even by the end of the month, you will see that you have accomplished some things. If you have a goal to lose some weight and you're committed to doing something every single day, and even if you miss a day, to be focused and committed to it, because even if you miss a day or two, as long as you revisit your commitment to what you started, then you will achieve your goal. And having people in your life and having friends in your life that can encourage you and that you can be accountable to is very helpful also, because Proverbs 27:17 tells us that iron sharpeneth iron, and so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And so when we have people in our life to sharpen us, people that are good influence on us, that is just so powerful to our, not only to our mental health, but also to our growth. And so if you don't have good friendships in your life, you can pray and ask God to send people and to just help you to have people in your life, because friendship is important to God, and he wants you to have people in your life that can help you to be your best. So before we dive into setting goals, let's talk about mental health as our foundation. The way that we feel, the way that we think about things, and the way we approach our emotions, that all has a really big impact on everything that we do. So our relationship, it affects our work, it affects how we see ourselves. So this year, if we're going to make some changes, we have to prioritize our mental health. Like, that has to be something that is really number one priority, our mental health, because that will help us to just feel better and to have the stamina to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves, whether it's a 6-month goal or a year-end goal. It will give us the stamina to complete those goals when we are healthy and our mental health is balanced and we have mental wellness and we feel good and we're having self-care and positive self-talk and all the things. So we can start with something simple and just ask ourselves in this moment, like, how are you feeling right now? And taking a really honest evaluation of that question, like taking a moment, just closing your eyes and really thinking about that. And checking in with yourself. Like, how is my mind? Is my mind clear? Is it clear from any thoughts of negativity? Is it clear from any negative self-talk? Is it clear from any thoughts of sabotage? How is my heart? Is my heart filled with joy and peace? How's my body feeling? Is it free of anxiety? Am I treating my body kind? Am I drinking a lot of water? Am I eating good food that's going to fuel my body? Am I moving at least 30 minutes a day? And sometimes we can get so caught up in the rush of life that we forget to pause and reflect on how we're truly doing. It's easy to push through the day without acknowledging the weight that we might be carrying. But today I want to encourage you to slow down and to become aware of your current emotional state so you can start to make some progress in that area. And you can start to develop a conscious center about like how you're really feeling and how things are really going. And it's okay to not have it all together. We all go through times where we feel overwhelmed, times where we feel anxious or unsure. But what matters is we take the time to recognize what we're feeling and give ourselves permission to experience those emotions. Being aware of your mental state is the first step toward healing, growth, and transformation. When we acknowledge how we really feel, then we create space for clarity and understanding. It allows us to take action, whether it's reaching out for help, practicing self-care, or making a decision to set new boundaries. By checking in with ourselves, we begin to take control of our emotional health. This awareness is where true change starts, and it's the foundation for everything that we will build in this new year. And so hopefully, we can think about our mental health from a very honest standpoint. As we set new goals, we can remember that our mental well-being is a goal too. And if we don't focus on our emotional health, even the best planned goals can become overwhelming or unsustainable. So this year, let's just focus on building resilience, practicing self-care, and being gentle with ourselves as we move forward. As we move forward, we definitely, for all the reasons that I just mentioned, want to be able to make our mental health a priority, because when we are not well mentally, it is very difficult for us to complete any goals that we have set. So let's talk about setting intentions for the new year, but talk about it also from a lens of mental health. When we make plans, it's important to ask ourselves, is this goal achievable without overwhelming myself? That's a real thing. We don't want to create goals for ourselves that leave us feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. Another question that we want to ask ourselves is, am I setting realistic expectations? Again, we want to be able to improve our lives. We want to be able to achieve goals, but we also want to do things that are realistic, because when we set unrealistic expectations, it sometimes can be overwhelming. And when I say unrealistic expectations, I don't mean that something is out of your reach. I just mean where something may have a step 1 through 10 and you set a goal for 10 instead of setting a goal for step 1. That can be unrealistic at times. So we want to make sure we're setting realistic expectations. And the third thing we want to think about is, how can I protect my mental space while I am pursuing this goal? And I think this is a real one for me, because I feel like a lot of times I have a lot of things on my plate. I was just talking to my 9-year-old today, and I was like, are you worried about me? And he was like, a little bit. I feel like you're just doing a lot, And so I'm like, I am, aren't I? And a lot of times I have to give myself permission to rest. I have to give myself permission to take naps. I have to give myself permission to do nothing. And sometimes that is really hard for me, but I'm really, really working on it. So I think for me, this is a big one for me to implement, to say, how can I protect my mental space while I am pursuing these goals? And so I encourage you to set goals that align with your mental health and your emotional well-being, whether it's committing to take more time for yourself, practicing gratitude daily, or setting boundaries in relationships. Those are healthy goals that will strengthen your foundation. Your goals don't just have to be about productivity. They can be about healing and balance. So you want to have goals that are about currently where you are as a person. You want to give yourself permission to be whoever you are and to try to work from that space so you can really experience true healing this year. Your mental health is just as important as your career. It's just important as your relationships or your accomplishments. It is the foundation that truly holds everything else together. And so if you take care of it, it will serve you in ways that you can't even imagine. It will make your relationships better. Those of us who suffer from trauma, from childhood trauma or past trauma, or have overcome a traumatic event, you want to be able to take care of yourself. You want to be able to get therapy this year for those things that have happened to you in your life so you can truly move forward and serve yourself well. It is time for you to really experience true healing so you can experience joy and peace and really enjoy your relationships with other people. And so other people can really enjoy you so you can be the best possible version of yourself. And so as we wrap up a little bit, our focus for mental health for this session, I just want to remind you of something powerful that we talked about at the end of last year, and that was to find one word for the year. And so we didn't talk about this last year, but since we're talking about mental health and we're focused on mental health, maybe the word that can serve as a guide or a reminder for the focus of this year possibly could be something that has to do with your mental health. And so for me, I talked about my word being anchored. And that's important to me because in the midst of everything that comes my way, I want to be able to stay rooted and consistent. And no matter the challenges or changes, I'm anchored in what God has told me, and I'm committed to finishing what I've started. I think like in the past for me, if something, it was like squirrel, like every time I see something new and exciting or think about something else that I could do, I would always just be distracted by that thing. And so when I went to a conference at my church, the guy was talking about how, like, if when the lion is being trained and they're being basically hypnotized by that, like, little prong chair where they can't pounce because they can't focus. And so when I have all these different things going on, it's like I can't pounce on that one thing and bring that one thing to fruition because I'm just all over the place. I can't really focus. And so for me, it was just important for me to have a word that helped me to be grounded, helped me to be consistent in my life, and helped me to finish what I started. And so if there are other people who have a word for the year, I would definitely like to know what that word is and to share it in my comments on Instagram or Facebook. And if you think of a word that you would like to have related to focusing on your mental health, peace for the year, joy, rejuvenation, renewal. I mean, there are so many words that we could choose, but I want people to be intentional to just really allow God to speak to you about what that word is, because I truly believe that it is. I believe that God is always speaking to us, and sometimes it feels like he's not speaking and we can't hear him, but there are moments where we really know, like, oh, I really did hear that word. And so I want the word to be something that we feel like, oh, this is definitely my word. This is definitely for me. This is something that can really help me to gain focus for this year. And so I just think that this is just a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to do that. And so I just really want to thank you for joining me today. I am just really thankful to be back on here. And I hope you're feeling encouraged about the start of this new year with a healthy mindset. Mental health and goal setting go hand in hand. And with the right focus, we can achieve so much more than we realize. And so I am looking forward to a great year, and I hope you are as well. Talk soon.